What is going on with Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, and are the Arizona Cardinals for real? Hey everyone, welcome into NFL This Week. Rob Wong joined alongside by Paul Chapman. And Paul, a lot of interesting things going on right now with some rookie quarterbacks around the league, and most recently Caleb Williams. Everyone wondering what is going on there. It's been an up and down season for the number one overall pick. Lately it's been more down than up, but it sort of begs the question about rookie quarterbacks around the league and young quarterbacks around the league and whether or not they're being rushed these days. The Bears, of course, no strangers to that with Justin Fields in recent memory, but you look at what's going on right now with Anthony Richardson back in there for the Colts this week. Bryce Young has been playing again for the Panthers. I feel like we could talk hours about this, but what are your feelings about how NFL teams go about treating their young rookie quarterbacks these days?
You know, Rob, I think it's a great question because there's no real template, right? I mean, it depends on your coach, your offensive coordinator, the pieces around you, confidence, how much is too much, what program you played at in university. And I think that a lot of times there's so much pressure, especially because of the salary cap and getting production out of your young quarterback while they're still on that rookie contract. But you mentioned Bryce Young, fabulous example, like terrible year last year, started off even worse. Had to come out of the lineup for a few weeks, then thrust back in when Andy Dalton, journeyman, had an injury. I'm not saying he's a world beater. In fact, he still may turn out to be a pretty big bust, but he's looked better having that time to sit back and breathe. Anthony Richardson, another one. He's a second-year guy, got injured just a handful of games into his rookie season, comes in this year, didn't look good, benched for Joe Flacco. Now they're going back to him. Drake May, there was talk about Drake May not being put in front of just an epically horrible offensive line. So they sit May to start the season, let him learn behind Jacoby Brissett. Now they've put him in and he looks good. In fact, he beat Caleb Williams on the Bears. What's interesting with all these interwoven conversations is you look at how the Panthers were fleeced by the Bears for all these extra draft assets. And this is why they fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, this week is what's going, like the pressure is on Matt Eberflus. That Bears team has to win. They have no more excuses. They'd had a modicum of success with Justin Fields, decided he wasn't the guy, and decided that Caleb Williams was. Got him the fancy Rome Odunze, a highly touted rookie receiver. They have other decent pieces around him. Obviously, DJ Moore, part of that trade with Bryce Young as well. And it's still not working. In fact, Williams had that little bit of promise before their bye week. In the last 3 weeks, he's looked absolutely terrible. So I think NFL coaches need to stop following a template and really look at what you have. Do we have the offensive line to give this guy protection? Because I do think that's the big issue in Chicago. Their defense is decent. They've got good receivers. They've even got a good running game. So what's the common denominator there is we can't protect Caleb Williams. So I think you have to look at all the pieces around him. Are you giving him the recipe to succeed? Maybe dumb down the playbook a little bit for any of these guys and see what they can handle and build on that, because it certainly seems that it's just a roller coaster. I mean, aside from Jaden Daniels, who's tailed off a little bit, but looked so great out of the box, most rookie quarterbacks are going to go through some growing pains, both up and down.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And you look at someone right now in Arizona who has gone through those fires, and that, of course, is Kyler Murray, who this season has the Cardinals 6-4, first place in the NFC West. They won 4 in a row. He's starting to generate some NFL MVP buzz. The numbers don't exactly jump off the page, But they are strong numbers nonetheless. What do you think about the Cardinals and Kyler Murray as far as the MVP conversation goes?
It's the fascinating discussion in the NFL these days. You would have picked Arizona. I think most people would have picked Arizona to be the worst team in that division. Obviously, you had, the 49ers were the class of that division. You've got Matthew Stafford and Wonderboy coach Sean McVay in LA. Seahawks even bringing in Mike McDonald. It looked like they had all the pieces. And here are the Cardinals surprising everyone at the top of that division. And they actually, if they can look after their division games, they've got back-to-backs with the Seahawks coming up pretty quick, sandwiched by, I believe it's the Patriots. They've got some winnable games in there. So, and this is driven by Kyler Murray. I think maturity. You remember earlier in his career, there was so much talk about, he doesn't study the playbook. He's too busy playing video games. Well, now it's not all on Kyler Murray. If you had looked at where you thought the Cardinals would be and see where they are now, you'd probably say, that would have been down to Marvin Harrison. It's not because of Marvin Harrison. He's actually been fairly disappointing for such a high pedigree rookie. But the maturity of Murray, if you look at his running stats, he's not off the charts, but he's solid. He's not, as you talk about MVP, he's not at the top of the passing charts, but he's only got 3 interceptions, 12 touchdowns. He's eliminated the mistakes. He's spreading the ball around. James Conner, Trey McBride, even, as I said, Marvin Harrison. They do a little bit of everything, and it's all driven by Murray, and he's avoided the big mistakes. So he can improvise because we know what a great athlete he is, but he's not throwing the stupid interceptions anymore. So I think this is driven from the quarterback. But again, it's another great example of how to build a team. Now, just to harken back to our last conversation, if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles after they made the Super Bowl and everyone talked about what a loss it was to lose both their coordinators, last year everyone was saying how Shane Steichen was the genius in Indy. Well, now they're having a down year, and now Jonathan Gannon, who took the helm in Arizona, seems to have built this team up to a point where they look like they could cause some trouble in the NFC.
Yeah, they're definitely an interesting team right now to watch, and Kyler Murray has been leading the way. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Paul Chapman, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.